Yeah, hi. Today let us discuss one famous continuous testing tool nowadays. It is a selenium. Okay. In the PowerPoint presentation, we're going to look into it. Okay. What is selenium? Selenium is used for continuous testing for application, especially for web applications. Using selenium, we can make an application where we can check whether the application is performing as our expectations or not. Is we can in initial stage itself we can check it is a bug free or any problems it's where it is facing while performing its performance. Okay. Okay. Let us think. Let us discuss. Okay. This is infrastructure. This is architecture of selenium. What is selenium? How to use selenium in test automation? Developer will go into continuously testing and every stage, whether it is a development stage, on every stage, integration, continuous development, continuous integration, continuous deployment, whether it will, whatever may be the stage, in every stage we will be continuously testing our applications on whether the application is performing as our expectations or not. Okay. Okay, let us move into the topic, continuous testing using selenium. If you talk about selenium, first we have to talk about testing. Okay. The main intention of using testing is identifying the mistakes and bugs in the software or application, verifying the whether the application works as our expectations or not. If it's not identified at early stage, it increase the problem with the manual testing and increase the cost. Okay. If it's not it's rejuvenating. If we not identified the mistakes or bugs in the earlier stage, it will be uh, time consuming and we have to spend a huge amount on it to overcome it by doing manual testing. Using selenium we can perform it automation. Okay, no need to do it by manually. Selenium is a tool used for automating testing for web applications. I have already told you, especially for web applications across different platforms using different programming languages, whatever maybe the programs like Java, Python, C++. Okay. Okay, it is an open source tool and mainly used for function and regression testing, known for better performance, execution speed, best tool for testing web applications. Okay, it is the best tool for check the application performance. And will going the process also will be very speed. It's going to trigger. It's going to trigger the from IDE platform. It acts as a application programming interface. It's going to trigger into web applications. I will show you how it's going to work. Okay, let's move to next slide. What is Selenium WebDriver? Here we have something we have to discuss about is WebDriver. Mainly, the Selenium will be working with the help of WebDriver itself. How we going to trigger into uh, web browsers? It is used for testing web applications. Selenium WebDriver is a programming interface to create and execute test cases. The main advantage of using WebDriver is used for testing web application. Selenium WebDriver is a programming interface to create and execute test cases. Test cases are created and executed using element locator, object locator, and WebDriver method. Okay. Here we have used WebDriver method. Selenium WebDriver is the only access a application interface, not an IDE. Okay. First it going to interact with browsers. It is only acts as a programming interface, not an IDE. IDE is nothing but integrated development environment. Okay. On each browser has its own web drivers on which the application under the test runs. Okay, Selenium. Web driver makes directly to the web browser. Like for Chrome, there is a Chrome driver, and other applications they will be having some other drivers. Okay. Let's move into another slide. It is the one of the famous and the trending tool using for testing nowadays. Before there are some testing done by using g.v.dileep test cases, test ng. Among all that, we have to we have to use it automatedly. We have introduced Selenium. That is the famous tool now nowadays which we are using. How Selenium will going to work? See, first we are going to write some programming language. We're going to create one project, Java based Maven project. Okay, then we're going to test scripts. We're going to add some dependencies in the form XML. If it whether when we're going to take a Maven project, we're going to add all the required dependencies in our form XML. I'll going to showing. I will be showing that also to you. And here we have something called selenium driver. Selenium driver is nothing but the driver which we're going to use by website, like for Chrome we have something called Chrome driver. In browser we're going to use Microsoft Edge, Chrome driver, etc., etc. And if you talk about selenium process, how selenium process will be continuously be working on based on this process itself, based on these 6 steps itself. Selenium WebDriver instance, configuration of browser if required, navigate to the required web page. It will going to navigate into required web page by triggering, locate the relevant and web element, verify and validate the action. It will going to verify, validate the action, every single action in the password, in the username, on login. I will show you practically now in this video itself. In order to interact with web browser, we have to install Chrome driver, etc. We should use the latest version. See, in order to interact with web browser, we have to install our web driver into our local machine. Then we have to import into Eclipse, like IDE platforms, whatever it may be. IDE, what is going to use, like PyCharm, IDE, Eclipse, and something we have called that Visual Studio. These are IDE platforms, right? Selenium in IDE. Selenium integrated development environment. Create Maven project with simple architecture. How the process will be going on, I have written practically. Create a folder in project called drivers and copy the Chrome driver exact files. Okay, we're going to create one project in the IDE, like Eclipse. Suppose I have used here Eclipse. Then we will going to create one folder in project called drivers and we're going to copy our Chrome driver files into, and we're going to extract it into our Eclipse IDE. Update form XML file. We're going to updating our form XML with all required dependencies and plugins like Selenium, test engine, compiler. We'll be getting all these dependencies. I will show you where we're going to get these dependencies and plugins. Okay. We have to update all these things in form XML because in Maven is a build tool, and all the required dependencies and the information about how it should perform will be presented in form XML itself. Okay. And we have to create packages under SRC and test Java. Okay. Then we have to create a class under this package. All the test script are shown. Run the test ng. Then we have to, when we're going to write run the test ng, then we're going to generate one reports. Here we forget to discuss about the tools. See, Selenium is a tool used to automate. Okay, I have discussed about this. Yeah, tools that can be integrated with Selenium or Git, Maven, Jenkins testing. Git, how it can integrate with Selenium means we can integrate Git with Selenium to share roads to share codes on the Git repositories. Okay, remote to local or local to or remote to remote. Okay, and we have something called build Maven. Maven is mainly used for build tool. It is a build tool. We can use Maven with Selenium, integrate with, Maven with Selenium to manage the project dependencies and ensure easy build process. Okay, and Jenkins it is used for continuous integration. We all know that we can integrate Jenkins with Selenium to build and test the code whenever there is incremental changes committed. Okay, test engine is the famous tool to generate the index.html reports. Okay, it is also used for continuous for testing framework. JUnit test cases or test ng and Selenium. This all used for testing also. But Selenium is used for continuous testing. Okay, but test ng is going to generate index.html reports. It is also used for testing framework. We can integrate test ng with Selenium to manage the test cases and produce HTML reports. Okay. Yeah, I'll discuss about it. Yeah. Let's come to conclusion. Selenium is the best open source and trending tool which is used for continuous automated testing for web application. By using Selenium, we can make the application bug-free and without mistakes. It will find out the bug at earlier stage and reduce the cost and downtime. See, if you find any mistakes or any bugs at the earlier stage, we can solve it in the earlier stage. Then it will going to reduce our cost and time. Okay. Using Selenium, you can use our applications effectively without any as expected. As it will going to execute, it will going to perform as our expectation. Now let us discuss about Chrome driver. First, we have to And don't forget, we have to use latest version of Chrome driver. This is our Chrome. How to download means we have to visit this Chrome driver.chromium.org org/download. Here we can download our Chrome driver based on the version we require. Okay, always try to use latest version. Let me get into GitHub here. Yeah. How to check our version means just get into settings. Come down, click on about Chrome. This is our version. Always check for the latest version. This is the version of my Chrome. Based on when we have to we always want to prefer the latest version. Okay. Let me close it. And how this going to work means open this. See how it's going to work. I just opened my before getting into it. Let me open this Eclipse. Yeah. Meantime, I will show you. Okay. Yeah. How to add dependencies into POM.xml means you have to visit Maven repositories in our browser, whatever may be the Microsoft Edge or Chrome. And if you come here, if you want what are the required dependencies we have to just we have to search here. Let me search for test engine. Enter. See, this is my test engine dependencies. If you click on it, it will be redirected into versions, available versions. Click on the latest version. This is the path. Simply copy it, paste it in Maven dependency. That is what the folder what we have is pom.xml. Okay. Now let me based on the requirement, what are the required dependencies to add? We have to search it here. Okay. What do I mean? Like selenium. Click on selenium. So selenium.java. Okay. Here we will be getting the path and dependencies. What the dependencies should be added in the pom.xml. Yeah. Here to show you practically, I'm using Jenkins actually. My Jenkins master. Okay, I have launched my instance. I have launched one instance. This is my Jenkins master actually. By copying this public IP address, on the Jenkins will going to run a default port number 8080 with public IP address. I have given the default port number 80. I have tried to log in it. Yeah, into see how it going to automated triggering. One F12. Yeah. See, just I click on password. It's working there. If I click on it, I click on password. Okay. Click on elements. See how it's triggering. How it is redirecting. Just by clicking on the link, it is redirecting into my web browser. Just I'm clicking on it. See, See, port number. Oh, it's triggering. If I click on it here, console output. If I click on password, it is opening my password folder. To click on login, it will go into this is how Chrome driver will be going to work. Selenium will be continuously testing. Okay, this is how Selenium will going to work. In the same way, using see, I simply created a project. When I get into my project, these are the things what see. This is form XML. I already opened it. Here we have to add our required dependencies by visiting this page. Maven repositories dot selenium, whatever may be. What are the required dependencies we have to add? We have to add inside our form XML. Here we will be getting one option like srt test java index.html. By copying that path, if you paste it in our web browser, it will going to generate one test ng report. This is how we can generate our test ng report. Okay. In form XML, we have to, I already discussed that we have to write on class and packages. Then we have to write here src/test.java. Inside it, we have to write one coding, and we have to give all the default IP address and with the default whatever maybe the port number we have used. Then we have to try to trigger it. It will be, and we have to generate one test engine report. Then it will be continuously by clicking on the link. It will be triggering. This is how this Selenium will be going to work. Actually, I tried to show you practically because I lost my data inside my IDE Eclipse. This is my newly installed Eclipse. That's why I'm able to show you by triggering from IDE. But this is how the process will be going to work. Okay, I hope I have explained you very well. Thank you.